Hey everyone, it's Christine here. Welcome to my channel. It is so good to see you. If you're new, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm like, what do you say? Welcome everyone. I am happy to see you. In this video, we are going to look at 5 things to know about this upcoming full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. So there's a lot of things coming full circle with this energy. It is very much connected to the weekly energy forecast that I put out on Monday. So I'm going to link it somewhere in here so you can see it. The focus is on illumination, on things that you've known, and now you're being asked, what do you want to do about it? And this is a major theme that we talked about in the weekly energy forecast. And so with this full moon, we're going to talk about a few different things. So I want to let you know, as always, there are timestamps in the description box below this video and also in the comment section. So you can jump around. I encourage you to listen from the start. So let's get started. So when I meditated and I asked how many messages I needed to transmit about this lunation, I received 5. Generally, from past videos, you'll see it's usually about 3 on average. 5, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of things to parlay to everyone. And what I heard was 5 signifies change. So this lunation, obviously it's going to bring change. There's always energy attached to any, but the decision, because I heard the marker, final marker. So the decision that you make, or decisions that you make, and how you choose to respond with this lunation is going to completely change your own path. Because it's like responding to a certain element in the same way that we've done. We're going to keep getting the same thing. So many of you, that what I've received was you are going to be making very distinct choices and decisions that are very different than you've done before. And as a result, that's going to change and alter your own journey very differently, very much in a way you've never experienced before. So be open to that. Let's get into the messages. So message 1, that I received this in the form of an image. I saw a waterfall. Immediately, I knew what it meant: emotional purging. So this particular lunation, some of you, because I'm seeing those fancy ass, I don't know what they're called, but you go to restaurants or some upscale dining or hotels, places like that, where you see these glass walls and they look like fountains and you see the water coming. Really beautiful, very beautiful, luxurious, sensual experience. But I'm seeing an emotional purging is going to come up during this lunation. It's not a surprise. Lunar eclipses in particular, lunar events, solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, but any type of lunation, it's tied back to the moon, right? And it's a very sensitive time. It brings up a whole host of feelings. But this in particular, there's a finality here. Many of you may be feeling the door is closing to something. Even if you know you're done with it and you're ready to let go, or you may have moved on from it. So this to me speaks and connects to elements of grief too. So this emotional purge is going to come out. Obviously, for me, I kept getting tears, crying. It could be from relief, from happiness, joy, but also pain, hurt, and the realization of everything that you've experienced and where you're at now and how far you've come. There's also a push to get this energy out of you, because some of you, I kept getting like a tree trunk. It stays stagnant within you. You may have been holding it in, or you may have been feeling moments, especially in the past several weeks, of wanting to cry, wanting to release. But we've been having a lot of activations with our throat chakra as well. So that has prevented many of us from articulating what it is we want to. You've seen it with me. Well, I think this is always general. The way I communicate, sometimes I'm just scattered, or I couldn't communicate or verbalize what I wanted to. You may be experiencing that. But this lunation, you are going to finally get a grip, get a hold of what it is that you want to say, what it is you want to express, and how you want to express it, and what needs to come up. So allow yourself. There's a water connection here. Again, because on the axis we have Taurus and Scorpio, and we're heading into Scorpio season. By the time this lunation occurs, we will already be in Scorpio season. So the depth of this is going to be, it's like a deep clean out. For any of you that have automobiles, cars, and you clean it out, sometimes you go to the car wash places or someone cleans it out. Sometimes you see them vacuum and it's like a superficial vacuum. They don't go between the nooks and crannies and crevices, and they don't lift the seat up and vacuum the crumbs. We're not talking about a superficial car wash emotional purging here or vacuum. This is a deep one. You are putting that vacuum deep into those dark places. In other words, there's going to be a huge emotional release. So this may be a time where you may want to have some solitude, have some moments of protection for yourself, but also like a safe bubble for yourself, because I feel like this is a time to really connect to the emotions with yourself by yourself. That doesn't mean you can't ask others to be supportive containers, but I feel like a lot of what's coming out, this watershed, this cleansing, is going to be something for you to connect with, for you to bathe with, if you will, metaphorically. Some of you will benefit from water, whether it's a shower or a bath or getting into a pool or a lake or being by a body of water to meditate or connect. Or even sometimes people like to put their hands or their feet in water with salts, magnesium flakes, your favorite bubbles or oils, because water is especially cleansing, soothing, and you may also receive additional messages through that. There's a strong water element here. Message number 2, I got, it's the end of the show, and immediately, there's quite a few songs I channeled here. I channeled the Green Day song, Good Riddance, Time of Your Life, and I will link these songs. Again, I want to make it clear, I don't get any commission or any kickbacks from any of this stuff. If that were ever to change in the future, I would let you know, but I include them just for reference so you guys can click on them. When I clicked on the song and listened to it and listened to the lyrics, this is exactly it. Something that you are coming to an end to. It could be Taurus or Scorpio themes in particular, since this lunation is highlighting issues around resources, wealth, financial matters, self-worth and value, intimacy, trust, material possessions. It could be your home as well. The lyrics to me spoke a lot of ending something that you no longer want to continue in any of those areas. Because here are the lyrics. I will not sing to them, but the lyrics say, another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but it's the end, but in the end, it's right. I hope you had the time of your life. And there's a lot more. There's a few more verses that go into it. But for me, when I heard this and the end of the show, you're wrapping up something that for any Taurus, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, risings, and if you have very heavy placements, in other words, maybe a stellium in these areas in your natal chart, or you strongly connect to it in some way, there's something that's going to be ending that's completely shifted the way that you are going to be, that you're going to be proceeding. I feel like I'm like a stuck record of sorts. You're not repeating anymore. For any of you that remember back in the days when we had CD players and Walkmans, but CD players that we used to listen to, sometimes the CD would skip and we're like, no. We would try to save it, we would polish it, and sometimes we had to get a new CD. I felt my words like skipping and jumping. So some of you are no longer repeating things again. You've learned and you've seen the lesson, and it's coming up to you in this lunation. You may get an aha moment and you're like, holy smokes, this all had to do with my self-worth or how I valued people or trust. Some of you are dealing with issues of betrayal and trust. You're ending this show. You're ending this way of being, of existing, and you're moving on. So there's a grand culminating factor here where you're no longer continuing these things that essentially hindered you, that held you back. You're not allowing that skip CD to control you anymore. You're changing the dynamics. Message number 3. I got raise your hands up. And then I heard raise up your power. And what's interesting, look at my t-shirt. I have hands up. I haven't worn this shirt in such a long time, and I felt called to wear it. While receiving these messages, raise your hands up. Then I heard Pink song, raise your glass. And I was like, what are the chances? I asked my guides for really easy references. I'm like, I am not going down a philosophical puzzle of solving things. Give me something easy. You want me to talk about humanity? Show me one, for example. And what I see here, this is about reclaiming your power. So this ties into elements of self-worth, of self-esteem, of knowing who you are and taking it back, because this lunation and the axis it was on, Scorpio and Taurus, really also talked about not just the relationship we had with ourselves and our values and what mattered to us and how we express that, but also in relation to others with the 8th house. So there are also areas here that may have come up around abuse, and that's very general. I'm going to leave it very general. But abuse, giving away your power, victimhood, martyrhood. And what I got here in my notes was it's time to reclaim your power back. Turn on your light. Now, and another song that I also channeled was Josh Groban, You Raise Me Up. The lyrics are profound, but I don't want to make this video too long by going into each one or analyzing it. But I'm going to link them down so that you can explore them and look at them. But for me, this is all about realizing I don't need to give away any essence or part of myself to anyone for anything that happens. Because as soon as we divert our attention, our energy towards something and fixated on that, we've given our power away, right? Say someone cuts us off in traffic and we go after them. And I'm not condemning it. Like, the thing is, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, good or bad. I'm just saying in instances where we've given our power away, because we have all done it, you know, we don't stick up for ourselves. We don't delineate boundaries. We let people walk all over us, etc., etc. This is going to be the moment where you have revised to this point, and this is a continuous process, an evolutionary process as well, because it's not static. We grow. Next year, you're going to be someone different. In every season of our life, we have different priorities, but your values, your core values and beliefs have shifted dramatically since November 19, 2021, when this cycle with Taurus and Scorpio initiated. So think back then and think back now about, we're talking nearly 2 years, how all of these values have shifted and changed, and also your self-worth. I suspect for many of you, your self-worth has increased. That's why I kept getting raise your hands up. And I'm seeing that song. The song that I'm channeling right now is Montel. I think that's his name. I have my computer here, so I'm really glad that I decided to do this. Then I can search. Okay, this is the song that I'm channeling. This is how we do it, Montel Jordan. I was calling him just Montel. This is how we do it. I will link all of this. So essentially, what you're being asked to examine, if you're still feeling a little bit wobbly in this area, is areas of worth, esteem, and value that you're still feeling that ping. Are there any people, this is a relationship point here too as well, are there any people or situations where you feel like are not valuing you, where you don't feel appreciated, that are coming up and you're like, wait, something doesn't feel right here? Because that's what this lunation is also asking you, what or who do you need to release? Because how you value yourself is going to also reflect in what is happening around you. Whew, that was a lot to get out. Message number 4, stop lying to yourself. That's what I got. And I heard trust, no delusions. And what I heard was the light is on now. And I heard another Pink song. And the song that I heard, which I'm Googling if you can hear me type it, because I have here family, but because I don't always, I get partial titles sometimes. It's called Family Portrait. And this is a song that I channeled for this. Stop lying to yourself. So for me, this speaks to the truth of what you've seen, what you felt, because with this axis too, it speaks to diving into the depth that you may not have explored before. It's not even, some of it's unconscious and subconscious, but I feel like they're things that have already come up for you to connect with, to deal with, and things that you have been illuminated to in this 2-year cycle. It's going to culminate with this lunation in Taurus. You're already seeing and knowing things about people, about situations, perhaps about how you operate and behave, and the mindsets and beliefs that you are also taking in. And there's something here about trusting yourself. I kept hearing trust with this message. It's important on this axis because Taurus is an earth energy and very much feels and embodies and trusts its intuition by feeling into it, right? It's really easy to look for something outside of that, maybe look for a proof or dismiss that, or tap into the lower octaves of the Scorpio energy where we can start becoming a little bit paranoid or obsessed in finding out something, like digging. And the thing that I kept getting here was elements of betrayal. So this could be in any type of relationship or situation, whether it was financial, someone like cheated you out with your money, maybe it was a financial situation, an investment, or a relationship itself where someone betrayed you, like a friendship or family, or in a romantic partnership, someone you dealt with infidelity, for example. I'm getting here, it's about you feeling this. Stop lying to yourself and realizing you already know the answer to this. You already know, and this isn't just for any situations that occur, this is also in the future. Feel into what you already know in your body. That's tapping into the Taurian element of embodiment here. Because the truth is already within you. But some of you, I'm getting like researching, private investigator, PI energy, where you're like, I know this person is doing this and I'm going to prove it. And for whatever reason, sometimes you want to prove it just for ego reasons, or maybe it has to do with legal situations or whatever the case, but I'm not getting that from most of you. I'm getting it, it's almost like a confirmation for yourself. You already know the truth. So whatever you're seeing is your truth. So pay attention to that, because I feel like sometimes when we don't want to see something or acknowledge it, we kind of bury it or put it back in the drawer and close it. But the thing is, it's always there, and energetically you feel that blockage within you. It's not gone. It's actually even heavier because now you know, and now it's like weighing on you. You know, it's like a weighted blanket on you. Okay, and the final message, message 5. I got, it's coming back to me now. This is a Celine Dion song. Celine Dion. I should have Googled these. I just wrote them on my notes here. The song that came to me, I couldn't believe all these songs that just started pouring in. It's all coming back to me. And I will link it with the other songs, but I'll read you this verse. And just remember, with any songs, even if it seems like it's talking about death, murder, love, romance, marriage, go beyond those words. This is a Scorpion energy because there's a bigger meaning just than what you're seeing at face value. Of course, everyone is going to receive the message that they need to in a different way. So for some of you, it could indeed be about what the lyrics are speaking, but for many, it's going to be something very, it's going to be more expansive. I heard here, like, I'm just picking one verse. There were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. There were things I'd never do again, but then they'd always seemed right. There were nights of endless pleasure. It was more than any laws allow, baby, baby. And you know the verse, it's all coming back to me now. And what I heard here is rising up, because I saw a baby phoenix being born and rising up from the ashes. And then I saw a curtain closing. I was going to say clothing. I saw a curtain closing, as if you were in a theatrical production, the heavy curtains. And I don't know why this may mean something for someone, but I also had to write down what it looked like. It was a velvet curtain, it was heavy, and it was a deep purple indigo color. So there's something here that for some of you, you will never revisit again. Some of the stories that are closing out with this lunation, with this lunar eclipse in Taurus, you will never revisit again. And this is about releasing point, because I saw an ejection. And with the scorpionic energy too, it's about transformation and transforming that energy and alchemizing it in a different way. So some of you are using that, whatever experiences that you've gone through, you're using it to catapult you out of that into the next layer, into the next part of your own soul story, your own soul journey. But I kept getting an ejection. So, okay, the best way I think many people will be able to relate to this, for some of you that own coffee makers, I don't have one, but I've used them before. Think of the Nespresso coffee machines, or even, what are the other ones? There's a common one that people use. I forgot, but you put the capsules in and it pushes it down, right? And some of the machines have one that it just ejects and it falls. It's like that. It just ejects. Any type of thing or system that ejects, this is the energy that I'm feeling. This is all closing down, excuse me. So something here is a situation in your reality is something you won't visit again. And for me, the curtains closing, very reminiscent of an ending, of something being done. We see that in productions and ballet and musical shows and theaters, and even in, you know, cartoons and movies and cinemas. You'll see curtains, right, closing. And some people obviously use curtains in their everyday reality. We have shower curtains. We have curtains people use as dividers in their homes. We have curtains people use for decoration purposes to delineate boundaries. So again, for me, the curtains here represent a shutting out, an ending of something. You're done. You won't be revisiting that anymore. It's over. So it's going to be something different for everyone. I'm getting a lot of relationship energy because I feel like this axis point and this lunation, especially with the themes I mentioned, which I won't repeat, they are preparing you, all of us, not just one person, all of us, for this nodal transit that just started in July of 2023 with Aries Libra axis, because now we're focused on 1st and 7th house energies. And so again, it's interesting how they all feed into one another and how all of these are interrelated. So think back again to November 19, 2021 with 2nd and 8th house themes relating to Taurus and Scorpio. And you may be able to see certain things repeating. For me, for example, as a Libra rising, it hit my 2nd and 8th houses. And so if you're a Libra rising, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, this was the first time where I actually used a budget diligently. I should say a budget planner. And I was writing down the number, everything. I'm like, wow, it brought into light so many things. I focused and worked on issues dealing with emotional intimacy and vulnerability, and so many more, but I'm giving you ideas. Think back during this time frame on what things you have been working on, especially with people, because people allow us to practice this. These are things that are, again, they're coming to an end in a way where things that you may have dealt with, like maybe low self-esteem, now you're aware of it. Now you're like, you know what, I've been working on it, I'm feeling better. I know this is a process that continues, but this particular cycle left me stronger than ever, because now I won't allow people to take advantage of me or to devalue me or use me, etc. Using pure examples here, but this cycle marks a huge turning point for many folks, because the energies that have been expressed and what you have learned, it's almost telling you, you know what, assessment time. What have you really learned? Because it's one thing to say, yeah, I value myself. It's another to put that into practice, because if you're still putting up with shitty ass friends that take advantage of you or call you when they want something only, or with romantic relationships that are inconsistent, unless that's what you like, that's also pinging to you like, wait a minute, what kind of value system do you value? Or how do you find yourself worthy of this? So again, these are amazing times, not a time to be judgmental. It's a time to really ask yourself, how much have I learned and progressed over these past 2 years? There's always going to be work done. We always have to say this. This isn't a checkbox moment. This is an evolutionary process, right? There are many layers to this. And so I hope you found this video valuable. I hope you found that you were able to connect with many themes and that it allowed you to think Most importantly, I love making these so that it can help you in your own journey, so that you can reflect, because a lot of this requires deep introspection, reflection, assessment, and pausing. And it allows you to realize, how do I want to continue living my life? Do I want to still stay connected to things that haven't really helped me, or do I want to go in a different way? So this is your time to choose. This is a brand new way of being for many that you're emerging, especially with the baby phoenix that I get. It's not just a grand adult phoenix that we often see depicted. It's a big bird. I saw a baby phoenix. For many of you, it doesn't mean that you're regressing. You're being born, and the spirit that you have, it's one of regeneration. It's one of curiosity. And I also feel with that, it's like a youthful energy, has nothing to do with age. It's one of, you know what, no matter all of the tough shit that I've experienced in the past 2 years or up to this point in my life, I can still take life in a different way and look at it through a more joyful lens. And whatever comes my way, I'm better equipped now than I was then. You guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm wishing you a really, I would say, emotional, releasing, and inner peaceful lunation. Because this, I feel, is going to be quiet, but it's going to be powerful in a punchful, inner punchful type of way, and that you will maybe be sitting in a couch and all of a sudden it'll hit you and you may start crying, or you may just want to journal or put on a music and dance by yourself, or get yourself your favorite drink and just, kick back and reflect. If this video has helped you in any way, please support me and my channel. It would be so helpful. Hit the like button, thumbs up, consider subscribing and joining this community. I'd love to have you here. Share this video, and as always, comment down below, share with me your experiences. Thank you guys. I will see you soon. Take care.